I'd like to call this meeting of the Plaquemines Parish Council to order at 4:24 p.m. Machine is open for roll call. All present except for Bartholomew and Kognovich. This is Kognovich's first meeting where he's not here. He's on an oil spill and just wanted y'all to know that he regrets having to be offshore, but it's part of his role. Moving along down the agenda, please.
Agenda item 2, executive session, there are none. Agenda item 3, proclamations, there are none. Agenda 4, status report by the parish president.
Before we go into that, I would just like to add, I know some folks here are in the audience for construction permits 1 through 4. Those are going to be deferred today due to Kognovich's absence and Bartholomew's absence. All right, I'm sorry.
Rezoning.
We have an agenda to follow, sir. We're just, we're going through this, but I see this, there's, what's that? Oh, the rezoning? Sir, do you know which agenda item that is? Do you know which agenda item that is?
Yes. Yeah. Back on Union Drive,
Okay.
Gerald Drive.
All right, we're going to roll with that. Okay, all right.
That's right. Yeah.
Zoning.
All right, okay, we'll get to that agenda item later in the day. All right. Go back to the status report of the parish president, please.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, council members. As you can see, we're here in our conference room. With all our directors are here. We are socially distanced. We've had a rash of from COVID-19 people affected, so we're trying to do this virtually. We're all here to answer any questions, and I will give you my report as we go. As of today, there are 3,031 cases in Plaquemines Parish. That's up from 191 since last time. PCR testing, vaccines, and boosters were available this week and last week at the Multi-Purpose Center in Belchase. The National Guard plans to return and offer more free testing. Keep you informed on the specific days and times. Plaquemines Primary Care administrates vaccines on Tuesday, January 11th at the Percy Griffin Center in Davant from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And when they come back again, we'll get that information up to you guys. Some IDA recovery, DOTE and Plaquemines Parish contractors have picked up almost 1 million yards of cubic debris, some along State Highway, the rest along Parish. We now have a substantial damage assessment team out there. They're out in the public. This is required by FEMA. So I just want the constituents to know that you'll see people, they have badges, and their roles is to take pictures of all structures, not just the ones that are damaged. And that's part of what's focused from FEMA, or comes through FEMA. So, so far we've looked at 5,000 structures, most of which have no or very minimal damage. Structures with damage are being further assessed and calculated for substantial damage. There are about 100 of those so far destroyed or have major damage. This process will probably take about 8 weeks. So those folks are out there. We just want the public to know that they're there and they're taking pictures of homes. They're taking pictures of damages. We've already received a few requests from the public of who these people were. They should identify themselves. They have an ID on them. And if there's any other problems that you guys encounter, please contact us and we'll straighten that out. Under the trailers, we've had 20 trailers installed by the state, and we have 1 FEMA trailer installed. And that's so far, that's the process. It's been a slow process. It's an ongoing process, and we continue to push them. But it's it's very little movement that we see on our side. Tonight at 6 p.m., there's the redistricting meeting right here. And there will be one on Saturday, January 15th at 11 a.m. in the courthouse. Try to give you a Phillips 66 update. As it was announced early in November, Phillips 66 is converting its Alliance refinery to a terminal facility impacting many employees. 75 employees have been redeployed to date. Upcoming employee termination dates will vary depending on their role and the transition from refinery to terminal. Regarding who will remain employed at the terminal is up to Phillips, and they're still evaluating their staffing needs. Several companies have reached out with the potential job opportunities for Alliance refinery employees. Phillips 66 is working with Louisiana Workforce Commission and PAB to hold job fairs for those employees in mid-February. Companies interested may contact the Public Advisory, Tristan Babin. With that, Mr. Chairman, that's my report, and I'll have any questions answered what I can do.
Thank you, President Lapine. Do you have any comments about these FEMA bureaucrats coming around and inspect people's property to determine if they have to abandon their land or not? Do you think that's okay?
Wait, Richie, can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
Sure. I mean, do you have any comments or thoughts around these FEMA bureaucrats that are coming onto people's properties and inspecting them without permission by the landowners to determine if they have to abandon their properties or not?
Well, Richie, if you encounter that, please contact us. They're not supposed to go on property. It's supposed to actually take the picture from the street or a distance. So if you are encountering a problem, a specific one, give me the person, give me the place, give me the address, and we'll take care of it.
Got it. All right. You mentioned that there's about 20 FEMA trailers that are being installed. Of course, now because of these new flood regulations and such where people are having to build to dizzying heights, it's kicked off this sort of rat culture where my office is getting calls all the time about this person's trying to put in a trailer, this person's doing a trailer at grade or whatever. Do you have any update on where those are going so when constituents reach out, we could tell them that it's an authorized FEMA trailer? There's some discrepancies on what's allowed, and it's a little dizzying for residents. It's hard for them to understand. Can you help with that?
And if you have an exact address or a person or a contact who's having, even if you hear people say they putting in a new trailer, let us know. We'll turn it over to Zach, our new CBO, and we'll get that situated.
So is it possible to just flip that on its head and you just give us the addresses of where those are going? From what I understand, the permit office has those.
Well,
Create less work.
They could, Richie, but I mean, if there's a specific problem, please let us know.
Oh, okay, it's been a problem at least 3 or 4 times now, just within my office. All right, are there any other questions from the board? The status update? All right, hearing none. Move on. Thank you very much, President Lapine.
Item 4A, update by the Charter Directors, old business and new business.
Is anyone there virtually? It wouldn't work.
All right, moving on. We'll come back to this.
Okay.
Oh, he's there. Do y'all have any questions?
Yeah, sure. I have a question for Scott Roussel. Is Scott on the line?
Yes, Scott's here.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so it's come to my understanding that we just lost a cherry picker operator down the road. What's happening is there's a good bit of trash that's starting to pile up and blow around. Those crews are behind. Is there any plans to cycle some solid waste north folks down there to get a hold of that problem before there's a lot of rats and other public health issues?
Yes, actually, they're gonna be working overtime this weekend, going down there to help out. Kind of hard to send people down there in the evening for 2 hours and then come back, so, yeah, there will be.
Understandable. Any plans to just send people during the day as well? Or, maybe do a few days up the road, a few days down the road, that kind of thing?
Just say we'll work with them. Yes, sir.
Got it. I mean, the trash is really piling up, and we just would appreciate a little bit of attention. Commissioner Russo was on the phone with Civil Service earlier trying to find some relief, the hiring. You might be able to talk about that a little bit. Right, you don't want to?
I didn't hear you.
Go sit by the speaker. Go sit by the speaker.
All right, can you repeat the question?
Never mind. All right, thank you. We just
Thank-
moving down the agenda, please. Is there any questions from the audience or the board for the charter directors who are here but not here? All right, hearing none, moving on.
Agenda item 5, bids and advertisements. 5A, a resolution authorizing the acceptance of bids for furnishing rollout waste containers of 1 year for parish-wide use. Councilmember Konovich.
I'd like to offer it in Cognovich's absence. Seconded by Rousseau. Are there any questions about these dumpsters? Here, no. Open the machine for vote. Passes with all in favor here. Great. Up next is beer and liquor licenses. Please queue in if you have any. All right, Dr. Gui, you can go ahead.
I have one for Little G's Cajun Restaurant, 9338 Highway 23.
All right. I have several. One for Charles Lenormand. It's located at 32381A, Buras, Louisiana. Another one for Cajun Daiquiris. That's at 42866 Highway 23. One for Lucky Ryan, which is located at 109 Rhodey Lane in Buras. And one for Beshel's Boat Launch, which is located at 212 Beshel Road, Point of the Lash. Mr. LaFrance?
I have one from Myrtle Grove Bar, B&C Ventures Incorporated at 17509 Highway 23.
All right, seems to be all for the offered by Gui, and I'll second. Machine's open. And the results are all present in favor. Moving down the agenda to the building permits, please. We're going to defer 1 through 4.
Agenda item 7B, Bell Chase.
The next meeting is 2 weeks. What I said was I'm going to defer the Corps of Engineers for a month.
Item 7B, Bell Chase Mobile Home Park LLC, David Junker, Trailer Park Renewal, 10700 Highway 23, Bell Chase, Louisiana. Councilmember Rousseau.
So offered.
Second.
Did you take B and C together?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll withdraw my offer.
Item 7C, Naomi Mobile Park Home Park LLC, David Junker, Trailer Park Renewal, 14668 Highway 23, Bell Chase, Louisiana. Councilmember Blank.
So offered.
By Roussel, and I'll second. And machines open?
Need to ask if there's any questions.
Oh, are there any
Comments?
questions? All right, hearing none on these trailer park renewals? And the results are 7-0. Moving down the agenda, please.
Agenda item 8, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. I have a few. The first for Councilmember Konovich, an ordinance to amend the 2022 Public Health Fund Revenue and Operating Expenditure Budget, Animal Control Department, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next is for Councilmember Konovich as well, an ordinance to declare lots 19, 32, 38, and 39, Square 152, South New Orleans subdivision, jointly owned by Jefferson Parish and Plaquemines Parish and located in Jefferson Parish, no longer needed for a public purpose, and authorizing a sale to the adjacent property owner, Julie Chi Lee Drone, for the appraisal value and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next few are for Councilmember Black. An ordinance approving a plan of re-subdivision of Hune Family LLC, Elmwood Subdivision Industrial Sites, Section D, Jefferson and Plaquemines Parish, Lot B1G into B1M and B1N, Section 30, T14S, R24E, Southeastern District of Louisiana, west of the Mississippi River, Belle Chase, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as shown on the plans and plat of survey by Dufresne Surveying and Engineering, Inc., dated May 4, 2021, the owner having fulfilled all the requirements of the subdivision and re-subdivision ordinance of the Plaquemines, Parish of Plaquemines without cost to the Plaquemines Parish government or the Parish of Plaquemines and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next, for Councilmember Black, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan expansion LA 406 project and the F. Edward Abear realignment of LA 406 project and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next is for Councilmember Roussel, a resolution establishing a policy for Plaquemines Parish government in regard to mandatory terms to be included in all parish contracts for professional and other services, in all contracts that extend beyond a single fiscal year, establishing the policy for Plaquemines Port, Harbor, and Terminal District in regards to submitting
Ordinance.
It's written, it is it's a resolution that was written that way. Okay.
in regard to submitting all signed contracts to the council secretary within 2 weeks of the document being executed and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. The next is for Councilmember Newberry, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, Oakville to La Receipt back levy project and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And the last is for Councilmember Blink, a resolution authorizing the parish president or his designee to prepare and advertise for requests for proposals for professional services to create and lead a community-based co-design process seeking input for mitigation techniques and strategies to help residents and businesses cope with the impact of the mid-Barataria sediment diversion and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And that is it. Agenda item 9A1, an ordinance authorizing and directing the parish president to do all things necessary to accept the donation of Coast Guard Road, Venice, Louisiana, from its beginning at Tidewater Road to its terminus, the boundaries of which are more particularly identified on Exhibit A attached hereto, as a public road and utility servitude and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Konovich.
I'll offer it on his behalf. Anybody would like to second this? Second by Gui. All right. Are there any questions about this item? Any questions from the audience about this item? Commissioner Russo, you're still in the queue for this item or not?
I'm George Pivach on behalf of Louisiana Fruit Company. I'm here to answer any questions if anyone should have a question. We had a pretty lengthy presentation sometime about a month and a half ago on this particular matter. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Commissioner Newberry.
If this passes, what is the condition of the road?
The road is in fairly good condition, except one particular spot that needs repair. But other than that, the road's in fairly good condition. Part of the purpose of the donation and the property becoming or declared to be a public road provides us with the opportunities to secure potential federal funding and state funding to raise the road, because Coast Guard Road needs to be raised. It routinely floods, especially during the high river season, where we may have 6 to 8 or 9 inches of water, which makes the road impassable. People can't get to the various businesses located along Coast Guard Road, and particularly Cypress Cove Marina, which is located at the terminus of Coast Guard Road. Vendors can't get to that particular site. Service companies can't get to the site. Employees can't get to the site. So part of the process here is by having Coast Guard Road be formally declared a public road in its position of Louisiana Fruit Company, that it is a public road. But going through this process would allow us and the parish to work together to secure funding to be able to raise Coast Guard Road, because the ultimate goal is to raise it 2 or 3 feet and prevent the continual flooding that occurs along that road. The intent is not to seek funds from this particular government to raise it, but to seek federal funds and/or state funds. And we've engaged former Senator Vitter as our lobbyist, who also is a lobbyist for the parish, to seek to secure funding for that particular goal. But the first step is going to be having it formally acknowledged as being and/or a donation by the Louisiana Fruit Company to the parish to make it a public road.
So when the road is covered in water, it's not passable at all, or take the risk of driving through the road and not going off? I mean, what is the standard when this road is covered in water?
When it's got 2 or 3 inches of water, vehicles do travel across it. When it gets to be 6 or 8 inches above that, which it has at times, then it becomes impassable, and all of the businesses, you can't get to them. Mr. Renee Cross could give you more information as it relates to that in his particular marina, which is located at the end of Coast Guard Road, and the effects it has on his business and the employees who try to get to work and can't get to work, and/or, like I said, the various vendors, suppliers who are trying to deliver materials, fuel, et cetera, to the marina, and any other business located along Coast Guard Road.
So right now it is passable. They have some little holes.
Yeah, it's in fairly good condition. There's one spot where there's a hole, which I've indicated in our past presentation, where the vehicles have come across and damaged the wheelbase, et cetera. And then on my presentation, if the council approves accepting the donation for servitude, that we would move forward to execute that document, and would also work with the parish to contribute some funds, that is my client to contribute some funds to repair this particular portion of the road. Those funds would be contributed to the parish, and the parish would do the work. We wouldn't be able to do the work for certain legal reasons.
And for the record, can you state what businesses are on this road?
Right. Okay. We have Fabcon. We have R360. We have one other business looking to get on Coast Guard Road. We have a portion presently leased to Harbor Dredging, and the tenants at the end of Coast Guard Road is Halliburton. And we also have the Coast Guard itself facilities located at the end of Halliburton Road, and the Coast Guard is not able to get to that facility right when it floods. Then we also have Stone Energy located on Stone Road, which is right off Coast Guard Road. So we have multiple businesses presently located on or just off Coast Guard Road that need Coast Guard Road for access.
So no residents, strictly businesses?
Yes. No. Let me clarify that. And Mr. Cross can give you more information, better information possibly. Cypress Cove Marina has multiple townhomes and has multiple condos. Some people use it for weekends or vacationing, and some people live there permanently in those particular townhomes and condos located within the Cypress Cove Marina.
Okay. And do y'all have photos?
Photos of the flooding?
Road. Coast Guard Road.
I don't have photos with me, but I can get you photos of what it looks like when it's flooded, and I can get you photos what it looks like on this particular one spot where it's in need of some repair.
Yeah, it's kind of, I support the issue of going to a public road because it's a business down that road and we have another road. But I would like to see photos before I vote on something like this.
All right, well, if that's your position, Councilman Newberry, then it might be best if any other councilman have the similar concerns that we defer this matter. And if we defer this matter, I could get that information to you, pictures of the road and pictures of the area that's in need of repair, and also pictures of what it looks like when it's flooded.
But of course, it's up to the board if they want to move forward with it.
Well, with two councilmen not here and you're feeling uncomfortable with it, it may be best if we defer this matter. But I would like to answer any other questions anyone else may have at this time as it relates to this particular matter, so I can present and or be prepared to provide the information.
Thank you.
Ms. Newberry.
Any other questions to me?
I have a question for Rennie Burris. Is Rennie on the line?
Go ahead. Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yes. Should we accept the donation of this road, in your professional opinion?
That is a policy decision for the council. That's not a legal decision.
Got it. And there were some studies done around this road, and they were concluded in saying what?
I don't know what you're referring to. Studies around the road? Is that what you said?
Yeah, around the ownership of the road, et cetera.
I've given you all my legal advice in executive session. My opinion on the matter hasn't changed. And once again, at the end of the day, it's really a policy decision for you guys.
Got it. It seems like there's not much clarity here. I mean, can you just state for the record, do you support Plaquemines Parish government in your legal opinion as our parish attorney, whether we should do this or not?
But once again, it is a policy decision for the council.
Do you lean a certain way?
I don't lean any way.
Got it. I mean, you're our attorney. We just appreciate clear advice.
I'm giving you as clear advice as I can.
All right. I yield.
Any other questions of me? Thank you. And Councilman Newberry, I would ask, or Councilman Blink, I would ask this, pending on any other comments, since Councilman Newberry is not comfortable quite yet with this particular matter, that it be deferred. But hear from Mr. Cross.
Do you know of any federal funding that is secured pending on the approval of this road as a parish road?
It's a chicken or the egg, Councilman Blink. The parish has maintained this road for over 60 years and has actually plans on shelf ready to raise Coast Guard Road, but it's difficult to go and secure federal funding or state funding or any kind of public funding if the issue is whether it's a private road or a public road. And the first step in that process would be to have no dispute as to whether it's a private road or a public road, and that's why we're here before this council, to get that behind us and move forward. It's always been the position of my client, and as this council has appropriated hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 50 years repairing this road. So the answer is it's difficult to do if it's it's maybe almost impossible. It's a private road.
Too bad every business isn't subsidized to that extent. All right, thank you, sir.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch your comment.
Too bad every business isn't subsidized to that extent, where there's a main thoroughfare right through the middle.
Well, we're not looking to have anyone subsidize the construction of this road. We're merely looking to have this road be declared a public road, which we believe it is. And once it's declared a public road, like any public road, to attempt to secure funding as a result of the businesses that are located on it. It's not a question of if this project is more important than another project, but it's an important project for businesses located along the road and also employees who are employed on the various businesses, including the marina.
Thank you, Mr. Pivach.
Thank you.
Mr. Cross? Oh.
First of all, I want to thank y'all for letting us talk today, but I agree with Mr. Pivach. If it would probably be best to get more information to Councilman Newberry as well to explain and for everybody to be comfortable of what the condition of this road is. But one of the small things I have to say about that road is you have to understand Cypress Cove Marina is at the end of it. We have customers from all over the United States and all over the world. So just visualize for yourself for one moment, coming down to go to Cypress Cove Marina, and you go to make the turn down Coast Guard Road. Now, if it's 3 inches of water or 1 inch of water that a car could possibly go through, and never being in South Louisiana before and coming down to go fishing, and you're in your own car or a rental car, and you're fixing to go into what looks like a canal, right? That's the concept that you have when you turn down there. And when we give you that information, Councilman Newberry, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. So when you're in a recreational fishing community that we have down there, and they're coming down from other parts of the world and other parts of the United States for the first time to experience the great fishing and hunting that we have down there, and they don't know about this road situation, we've gotten phone calls canceling the reservation and going someplace else. So that's what we have to deal with. And it's just something that the businesses all along there, we have more people that are coming down there for that facility. Recreational fishing is up to 86% of the parish's tourism. So that's what they're coming down here to do. If they can't get there, they're not going. And they're not going to come back. They're going to go someplace else. So if we need to get more information, let us do that. And let's defer it for another time so we can go back and give you the information that y'all need to make a wise decision. But we appreciate when it does come to a vote, understanding the basis of our business at the end of this road. I said in the presentation before, if you build it, they would come. They won't come if they can't get there. Thank you.
Mr. Cross.
I don't think that's quite. I don't think that's quite right. I think we got porties that we built. I don't think that statement's right.
My question is this. With all of this business and enterprise on the roadway, why, and the question being public-private, why hasn't the business stepped up and patched the holes and fixed the road?
I think that's a legal question.
What's the legal question to me is that if we accept the road, we accept the liability. Would you be willing to us to accept the public road and y'all hold us harmless and y'all accept the liability?
To answer your initial question, Councilman Roussel, if private funds or private activities used to repair a public road, then the private entity could be responsible along with the public entity for the road from its beginning to its end. So that's why I said earlier that if funds are needed to repair this and this road becomes a public road, my client's prepared to contribute funds to this government for the repair of that road for the benefit of everyone in the parish, including the businesses located along the parish.
And sitting on the other side of the coin, I see it as putting the liability on the parish because the private industry doesn't want to accept the liability. So that's why they don't fix it. So they ask the public to take it over as a public road, so the liability goes to the public.
That's not the basis of why we came.
Might be the basis, but that's the end result.
No, well, no, it's not the end result. When this parish has already expended hundreds of thousands of dollars repairing this road over the last 60 years. It's very obvious to us based upon the prior presentation, and I'm not looking to belabor the issue. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been used to repair this road over the years by the parish government, and as you know, public funds should not be used to improve or repair a private road. And that's why it's our position, based upon the documentation provided to this council previously, and the fact that this council also, not this council, but this particular government has expended funds, that it's a public road. We're merely trying to confirm that so we all can move forward to benefit the businesses in this parish. And the businesses that are on this road pay a considerable amount of property taxes. also have sales taxes and other revenue that's generated. And if this road is not able to be repaired, and the best way to do it is through the proceeds that we're going forward, this government will actually lose revenue from that. But that's not the issue. The issue is it was intended to be a public road. This parish has expended funds, and we would like to bring this matter forward get it as a public road, and then work together, as I've said previously, to secure funding for the raising of that particular road.
My only comment is that the public would accept the liability, and the private companies do not want to put any material on the road because of what you said earlier, the liability.
Well, the reason for that, Councilman Roussel, is if a private entity patches one spot, then it becomes responsible for the entire public road. Then it becomes an issue of who's going to repair this road, private entities or the public body that it's a public road for. Your question is somewhat disingenuous, because then you're going to have that same question as every road in this parish that this parish believes is a public road or declares it to be a public road. So I'm not sure what the basis of that is. I understand your potential concern that if you accept any particular road as a public road, again, it's our position that the documentation shows it's always been intended to be a public road, has always been treated as a public road, and is a public road, but need to get past this hurdle, again, which was brought up within the last 3 years, that whether it's a private road or a public road. And hopefully we can provide the additional information requested by Councilperson Newberry and get everybody at the comfort level to see that this road should be a public road, is a public road, and get past that formality so we can, again, work together to secure funding to raise it. My client is willing to contribute funds for the repair of that particular patch, and would get past the potential liability issue that it's having right now. In the meantime, that hole is there. Vehicles are going through it. And if someone gets damaged and files a lawsuit, then, my client's going to get sued and the parish government's going to get sued. And we're trying to alleviate that unnecessary event in the future. And we look forward to working with this council and this government to achieve that.
Mrs. Newberry.
So, Mr. Peabody, are you saying that this road has only been repaired by the parish in the past?
To my knowledge, since the 70s, this road has been repaired by Plaquemines Parish government in the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. So if it was a private road, this government should have not put a nickel into the road.
So you're saying that the road was never repaired on a private basis?
To my knowledge, no.
Mr. Garrett, can you explain to members here what implied dedication is?
Implied dedication is a provision of Louisiana law that basically says that if a public entity maintains a private road for 3 to 4 years, and that's depending upon whether the owner of the road has knowledge that they are repairing it, then that road becomes a public road. Actually, by tacit dedication is really, I think, the term you were looking for, where he was referencing to maintenance of the road. And so it becomes a public road by tacit dedication. Implied dedication is a little bit different in the sense that it's that the legal actions, the documents filed between the government and the landowner imply that the road was intended to be dedicated as a public road. The ordinary process, like when a subdivision is built, the subdivision developer dedicates those roads and they build them to standard, and then they formally dedicate them. The difficulty in this situation is there appears to have been no formal dedication of this road. Then the question is, did it ever become a public road through implied dedication, or, as Mr. Peabody mentioned, the issue of maintaining the road can cause a tacit dedication of the road. And that's the issue that Mr. Burris had looked at from a legal standpoint.
And to be clear, this is the one instance where misappropriation of funds equals the government actually having to take over an asset, correct?
But it's a statutory provision, and it is an interesting turn that essentially, if the government misspends money for a period of time, then all of a sudden it becomes legal to continue to spend that money. But it is a legal question and somewhat a mixed question of fact and law for the court as to whether or not there is sufficient proof to establish tacit dedication.
Do you think it's prudent to seek a declaratory judgment on this item?
I mean, that's one option. I've actually seen this issue from both sides. I've seen where a landowner wanted a road to be a public road. I've also seen where the government believed, look, our records show we've been maintaining it, we're declaring it a public road, and the landowner said, no, it's not, that's my private road, and they leave it up to a court to decide.
I see the road being an ever-increasing expense in the future. The area is sinking 3 to 4 feet every 100 years. They're having to constantly be raised. It's unfortunate that we find ourselves in this position. I yield. Any other questions before we move on?
Any questions?
Yes, sir. Mr. Henry?
Hey, this is nothing personal, but listen, a few years ago, people from Wilson Lane came right before the council. They wanted that road dedicated to be a public road. Nobody wanted to entertain it. Nope, and that's residential. That's residential. So, we really don't have the funds to maintain this road, man. We don't have the funds to keep this road up. And if you're gonna do it, do it fair across the board. You didn't do it for Wilson Lane.
Thank you, Mr. Henry. Got it. All right, vote or defer? What do you want to do?
I explored the first so I can see some photos.
I asked you to defer some port items, but you went forward with them. So, all right, we'll defer it.
Going back to item 8, introduction of ordinances and resolutions, I got a couple for Councilmember Arbro. A resolution authorizing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to negotiate, execute, perfect, and enforce a cooperative endeavor agreement with the Plaquemines Social Aid and Pleasure Club and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And the last, a resolution authorizing the directing the parish president or his designee to do all things necessary and proper to provide assistance to the Plaquemines Social Aid and Pleasure Club and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. And that is it. Moving to 9A2, an ordinance approving a plan of re-subdivision for Douglas Lanassa Jr., Timothy and Eve Vignes property, Section 30, N72, T14S, R23E, Southeastern District of Louisiana, west of the Mississippi River, Belle Chase, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, into lots A1, DL1, and DL2, Douglas Lanassa Jr., Timothy and Eve Vignes property, Section 30 and 72, T14S, R23E, Southeastern District of Louisiana, west of the Mississippi River, Belle Chase, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as shown on the plan and plat of Survey of Dufresne and Surveying and Engineering, Inc., dated March 17, 2020, revised November 5, 2021, the owner having fulfilled all the requirements of the subdivision and re-subdivision ordinance of the Parish of Plaquemines without cost to the Plaquemines Parish government or the Parish of Plaquemines and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Black.
Offer.
Offered by Black, seconded by Arborough. Any questions about this item? All right, questions been called? And passes. All in favor?
Item 9A3, an ordinance to amended to readopt Section 4 of Ordinance Number 142, the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance of Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as amended, and the Comprehensive Zoning District Map, therein adopted by reference and which is paraphed thereto with reference to application number 2020-442, dated June 30th, 2020, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. This is for Councilmember Black, and we do have it was offered with changes. The ordinance number at the top should be changed from 21 to 22. Line 4, the application number should be 2020-442, and then the date is June 30th, 2020.
No.
No?
I'll go through it real quick.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, line 4, delete 2020-442, add 2021-486, delete June 30th, 2020, add November 3rd, 2021, line 8, delete 2020, line 9, add 2021, line 18, delete 2020, and add 2021. That's all. Offer?
Offered by Black, second by Arborough. Commissioner Rousseau?
We don't have anybody here from the permit office. Is there anybody here from the permit office that
Wait, nobody,
can tell us what the zoning board did? I think what I read, the zoning board.
they're not, I don't know if they're hearing us right now, because Christian didn't change the input. Let me go ahead and do that.
All right, well, let's let the public talk then.
Okay, sorry.
Sure, members of the audience, if there's any questions on this item?
I believe this man been sitting here trying to get up to the mic several times.
The zoning change? You had questions about the zoning change?
You now, well, it's one of y'all now.
Is it?
Yes, sir. Please state your name and address for the record.
Dominic Scortina, 150 Gerald Drive, Belchase, Louisiana. We're talking about the redistricting of one lot. When you redistrict this one lot, are you redistricting the whole section back there or just this one lot?
Commissioner Black, queuing in. Did you want to answer?
Answer.
Okay, sure, go ahead.
What? What did you say?
Talk from the chairman. No, it's redistricting the one parcel that the applicant.
So, for the record, you stating that you're only going to redistrict that one parcel. The rest of it's going to remain hot, heavy industrial, and that one's going to remain light industrial. That's what you're saying.
I don't think any of it's hot, heavy industrial. I think it's all.
What?
It would be nice to have somebody from the administration here to describe what took place at the zoning board meeting, as well as the recommendations that were given to me by the zoning department. I don't think that it needs to be rezoned.
I don't think so either.
I think that what the gentleman wants to do, he can do it under a conditional use.
I agree.
I've said that.
I agree with
I don't
that.
know if we have Rennie on the line, can give us a legal opinion. Can anybody? I've asked this question. I've gotten multiple answers. I've talked to Mr. Linder. I told him I don't think he has to go through this process of rezoning. I think it fits within. I mean, you stay back there. I know where your place is at. There's multiple types of businesses.
Correct.
Back there.
Correct.
Even public service businesses. So, in my opinion, it doesn't need to be rezoned.
I agree.
But if I had somebody from the administration here that can guarantee Mr. Linder a permit to go forward with his business, I'll withdraw
When
this.
he brought the stuff last time, he had a plan. The plan was a piece of paper with a square on it and a square on the inside. Did he get the permit from the fire department? Did he follow all the rules to get the permit?
I don't know the answer to that question.
He never gave an answer to the other.
Well, it's not Mr. Linder's position to answer that question. It's the administration's position to answer the question. I just don't know those answers.
Okay.
Like I said, look, I agree with you.
Okay.
I don't think it needs to be rezoned.
I agree.
But I want a guarantee from the administration that they're going to issue him the proper permits to move forward with his project, which is a project I think is a good project for the area.
Okay, that's fine.
Are they on the line?
We are on, I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't want to hold him up any longer either.
We're on the live input, but nobody's chiming in.
Mr. Black,
Yeah.
Mr. Black, it's Director Repling.
And let me
The only
clarify something real quick.
brought
I'm
for
not
us-
talking about Amitra's office, I'm talking about the legal. Go ahead, Todd.
The only thing that was brought before us was the issue of zoning. I don't know anything about if they applied for permits or any other types of permits, but the zoning issue was brought before the zoning board. The zoning board failed to adopt a resolution, and now it's being brought to the council and asking the council to change the zoning. That is the only issue that we've dealt with.
So the question is why did the zoning board vote no? Was it because they disagreed with the interpretation that has to be rezoned? Or because they thought it was spot zoning? Or did they think it was, not appropriate?
There were people that showed up in the meeting that spoke in opposition to the project. And they,
Hold on, Todd. He can't hear you until that screen switches.
switches.
We can hear y'all. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Y'all are on the correct input.
Residents at home have texted that they cannot hear the administration.
Yes, we know that. There's an issue on YouTube. They can't be heard or seen very
When
well.
was this decision even made to go virtual?
President Lapine made that decision, and IT came and set it up.
What was that now?
Tell them the deferred matter, we'll try to speak to Amitri.
What, Benny?
Randy, Mr. Burris, I heard you.
Yes, Mr. Black, we know nothing other than what's on the ordinance. No one spoke to me about this issue. We can call Ms. Rose and try to get some more information on that so that she can fill you all in. So if you want to defer the matter, see if I can get in touch with her so she can provide you guys some more information, we can. I certainly can't give an opinion on it without knowing more specifics about what the particular type of business is going to be. So, I'm not comfortable just from today saying whether or not I think that would be permissible, under the conditional use sections of the ordinance.
How long can you wait, Gene? You okay? All right.
Can't you just make a ruling and say?
I wish I could, because I'd rule in his favor to go just do his project without rezoning.
Yeah.
That's not my authority.
That's simple.
Well,
That's
no.
the simplest thing
Sir,
you got.
Sir,
I
can you
agree.
please speak into the microphone?
Anyway,
That's the simplest thing you got, Black.
I'm deferring. Yeah, I agree. But I can't do it. I wish I could. I can't. I'm going to defer this item. Mr. Linder agreed to defer it. Rennie, would you please get with Amitra? I'll call her tomorrow as well and see if we can get this conditional use permit.
Bro, he is on the phone with Amitra now.
All right, we're going to set this item aside. We're
Yeah,
gonna
just
move
get,
to
well,
something else.
text me. Whatever y'all do.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Well, I'd like to make a comment.
And I was told it was a split decision by the board.
Well,
I don't know.
we have people in the audience, and I'd like to make a comment as well, if you don't mind
Go ahead.
letting us move forward.
Go ahead, Mr. Russo.
Just looking at it, irregardless of what the individual wants to do in the business, the issue before us is a zoning issue only, no matter what he wants to do. And what it appears to me that it is a spot zoning issue, cut and dry, and based on just that alone, I could not support this effort to rezone the property because it's a spot zoning issue. Now, I don't know what he wants to do, and I don't know how he's going to fix that. At the end of the day, he might be able to get conditional use, he might not. But at the table before us now, it's a spot zoning issue.
Thank you, Mike.
Ms. Rose said that some of the objections by some of the members were that it was in fact spot zoning. Ms. Rose told them that because it was the same it's a different classification, but because it was still industrial, that she didn't feel it was spot zoning. But clearly there wasn't enough votes to move forward on it because of what they consider to be the spot zoning issue.
Okay, so with that said, I understand Benny's comments. The issue that I have, I understand it's a straightforward zoning issue that we're talking about. However, I have a constituent who wants to put a good development in the complex, and I want to support him to do that, so I want to get that corrected. I don't want to just come up here and vote yes or no without a solution to fix his issue.
Can you tell us what it is?
It's a, Gene, you want to come up and give him, let him know?
Hi, sir. Please state your name and address for the record.
Eugene Linder, 204 Fort Jackson Street, Bellchase. I currently own the property on Keating Drive, Lot 51, 51A. If I may, while I share these with you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Waste all this time and defer.
Just give you a little background of myself. I'm a lifelong resident of Bellchase, Plaquemines Parish. I was an educator down in Port Sulphur prior to Katrina. Once Katrina hit, it pushed me up towards Bellchase Middle School and then into Phillips 66, which is where I still work today. Through that time in education, and since that time, I've been a part of youth athletics, youth sports, youth groups, Beta Club with Port Sulphur High School. What I have here with this property is an opportunity for the youth to stay here in the parish. Right now, we don't currently have, well, I can think of one with Royal Athletics on Bellchase Highway, where they work with youth activities as far as athletics goes. And, of course, my daughter's attends Royal Athletics. What this building will be at this property on the first page is more of a rental, open metal building with turf on the inside. It may be used as a baseball or softball activities. It may be used for Cub Scouts if they want to use this building. There will be an area on the back of this page. It says lounge, but that's more of an area for the kids when they're not hitting or in their activities. They can take a break.
So you want to build batting cages, right?
Batting cages. It may be open. There may be an open field. It could be used for cheerleading. It could be used for volleyball. But it's a multi-purpose activity building. This sketch was required by the permit office in order to apply for the zoning change. It is not exactly how it's going to be, but the building is going to be an 80 by 70 layout, footprint. It may not sit on the front of the property. It may sit in the back and have parking in the front, but that's to be determined by you. And that I'm requesting a zoning change because that was the guidance by the permit office. If it falls under conditional use for such activities, I would accept that and move forward with that as well. I'm not looking to operate out of bounds, outside of what you say. I'm not looking to operate outside of what's already in there. I'm just asking for that conditional use. Currently, we have to address safety concerns because that was brought up at the zoning district meeting. To address the safety concerns, and they were talking about hot and heavy traffic and industry back there. It's still industrial. Right now, we have children leaving this parish, going towards other parishes, maybe on this side of the river or across the river, and putting them on the roads. And how do we address that?
Sure. Mr. Linder, there's a daycare or was a daycare back there already, correct?
There is currently a daycare back there.
I'll stop you, Gene, real quick. So not only does the school board operate out of the industrial complex, but there is a daycare, there's the care center. Like I said, there's multiple different business uses. I think that as I'm looking through the zoning now, there is some conditional uses that it would fit under, in my opinion. I would ask legal to get with Mr. Linder and Ms. Rose and come to a solution with this as fast as possible. I don't think it needs to be delayed any longer. So, with that, there's no other questions. I do want to defer this. I don't want to belabor it. The issue is a spot zoning issue. The board was split. I was told it was a split decision. I was also told the legal department wasn't there to give advice on that. So, I don't know. I want this project to happen. I think it fits well within that subdivision. And hopefully, Mr. Burris gives you a call tomorrow.
Can I ask one quick question? Do you intend to have any adults use the facility, or is it strictly going to be children?
No, it's open for adults as well.
Okay. All right. If that's the case, I think it would come under one of the existing permitted uses. B says auditorium or lecture hall and recreation facilities primarily for employees in the district. So that seems to imply that that's, adults, that's employees, that's grown people. So it's my understanding that from my zoning administrator that it was expressed to her that, or at least she understood it to be purely a children's facility, in which case it wouldn't come under the strict reading of B here. But if you're telling me that some adults at some point in time may use this facility, then I think we could allow it under 3B. But just so the record's clear, legal, this is our first involvement in this, so I don't want anyone to think that we weren't addressing this for some reason. This is the first time it was brought to my attention. So.
Well, thank you, Rennie, for the quick opinion. Gene, looks like you got a permit coming your way. So, moot issue.
Are you going to let him rezone it or not?
No, it's not. It's gonna be withdrawn, and then this issue's dead. It's a moot issue. It's not going to be rezoned. The parish attorney just said that it fits in 3B under the existing zoning classification.
I think some other people might want to speak. Good luck in your endeavor, sir.
It's withdrawn.
Okay, all right.
Quick question.
Please.
So, I'm unfamiliar with Lee DuPont 119 Keating. So this ordinance, spot zoning ordinance is not
Dead.
It's dead.
Moot issue.
Okay. There's other zoning issues with Mr. Lynn's, a completely different subject, handled in a different way.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Dead.
All right, moving on, please.
Agenda item 9A4, an ordinance approving a plan of re-subdivision of a portion of Tract 5-E, Belle Chase Plantation, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, as shown on the plat of survey of Cypress Park Subdivision, Phase 2A by Bryant Hammond and Associates, certified by Hugh McCurdy III, PLS, dated November 17, 2021, the owner having fulfilled all the requirements of the subdivision and re-subdivision ordinance of the Parish of Plaquemines without cost to the Plaquemines Parish government or the Parish of Plaquemines, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Black.
Offer.
Offered by Black, second by Arborough.
This is the final, and I believe it's all signed off on. I think you guys have a copy of the packet.
How many lots?
I think this is 60.
60 lots, so 60 new homes in Belle Chase?
Yep.
And just for the record, which major road is it off of?
FL at Bear.
Got it.
Oh, and I got good news about the roundabout as well. We're doing the planning meeting in February over at RPC. So that's moving forward, and we're going to have that intersection taken care of.
Was that the introduction? Was that part of the introduction?
No, that was, Rochelle made a mistake during a budget hearing. I won't say she made a mistake, but took money from the wrong line item. She'd have to explain to you, but it's basically an accounting issue. There's no actual money being moved.
All right, any questions? It's about 60 new lots across the street from here. All right, hearing none, open. And it passes with one dissension.
Thank you.
Agenda item 9A5, An ordinance to amend Section 12, Amendments and Petitions of Ordinance Number 142, the Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance, to authorize the Plaquemines Parish Council to establish rules, regulations, procedures, and requirements for the issuance of temporary permits for the placement and operation of RV parks, RV sites, campgrounds, and other temporary housing units or facilities in any zoning district, and temporarily suspend any and all map changes, rezone petition, requirements related thereto, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
I'll offer for discussion.
Any questions?
We need a second.
I'll second it for discussion. Any questions?
I think Mr. LaFrance is looking for somebody to talk, so somebody's got to talk. I think, Mr. LaFrance, I know we had a meeting. Are we going to be more specific on where you want an RV park and how many RVs? And have you come up with that yet? That way the board is wanting to know what do you want to do with this? Are you just wanting to move with this and leave this open for the parish? Are you wanting to put it in specific areas, and how are we going to move forward? I guess more specific on what you want.
Well, this ordinance is really just to establish, giving the council authorization to make rules and regulations for RV parks or placement of the travel trailers for the workers that's coming into the parish for the Venture Global project or any other building project that we have.
Mr. Chairman, can I chime in?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. We had met, this is an old ordinance that Mr. LaFrance wanted introduced, that was introduced from a while back, that he reintroduced. We subsequently met, me, Mr. LaFrance, and Ms. Newberry, and drafted something different than this and actually more targeted. But it's also my understanding, speaking with several other council members, that even that may have difficulty passing. I don't want to speak on behalf of Mr. LaFrance. So I've spoken to Ms. Newberry again since, Mr. Russo, I think Mr. LaFrance, and probably at least one other council member on this, maybe Mr. Kogomich. And I think at least four of you need to get in a room and really figure out exactly what you all want. I mean, everyone's bringing up some interesting points and issues, but it is a serious piece of legislation that I think needs to be thought through carefully. And, I would prefer to address everyone's issues together in meetings prior to, sort of trying to hash something out at an actual council meeting. So, obviously anyone else is welcome to respond to that. What I will tell you is the thinking on these, the initial way of handling this was that, it's my belief that there should be something in the zoning book that authorizes or allows the council to issue these temporary permits. And so at a minimum, I think there needs to be a regulation in the zoning book allowing for this and authorizing it on a temporary measure. Now, what that ordinance looks like and what Ms. Newberry was referencing, all of the specific rules and regulations associated with what a potential RV park would look like and what permits are required, those, in fact, can be done as a regular ordinance, right? Because the zoning book doesn't actually regulate all of that. All of those permits and rules and regulations for parks and all that are actually not in the zoning book. They're separate regulations that exist independently of that. So it was my thinking that there would be an ordinance adopted basically giving you all the authority to allow temporary RVs in zoning districts that currently don't allow for it, and have that adopted and put into the code. And then all of the other issues associated with potential temporary RV parks and or sites would be addressed by all the other regulatory ordinances that already exist independent of the actual zoning book.
Okay, Well, Mr. Barris, let's set up a meeting for next week, and let's get everyone in the room so we can iron this issue out, because we're expecting workers to come to this parish within
Daily.
yeah, daily, but hope, definitely for the next couple of months. So if you could set up a time and date where we all can sit down and iron this out and get this done.
I'm certainly available to meet next week, and like I said, I would encourage at least 4 of you guys to attend, and certainly if the other 5 want to meet at some point as well on this, because it's such an important thing that you guys are trying to do, or would have a huge impact. I just want there to be clarity at the outset, instead of trying to hash this out, at the table.
Yeah. The sooner the better, because, like I said, my main objective was to get a lot of these workers to come down south so they can support our local grocery store, Hayes Hardware, gas stations, and we just need some economy to start moving on the southern end of the parish.
Understood.
All right.
Thank you.
I'll defer.
Thank you, Mr. LaFrance. All right, items 9, B, and C are deferred. Item D.
Item D is deferred as well.
Okay.
Let me say something about that, Benny. Tuesday? Stephanie, Tuesday? Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday, 10 o'clock, if you want to go. They're doing the closing on the property. Kirk's.
Okay, 2 o'clock?
No, 10 o'clock, Tuesday. I know you have a lot to do with the Conservancy, so.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Is that?
Agenda item 9E, an ordinance authorizing and directing the parish president or his designee to suspend water payments for 6 months for residents living in Braithwaite and Ironton through West Point and LaHash, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember LaFrance.
So offered.
I'll second.
I'll yield to the floor to Mr. Barris. Rennie?
They're not live yet.
I are here. I think Mr. Eppley's going to speak on behalf of this issue.
Okay.
Mr. LaFrance, this was brought up to try to get some relief to people that were in affected areas. The administration did waive fees to people that were in affected areas because they were not able to access their homes immediately after the storm. In those affected areas, the water fees were restarted. The starting reading was gathered in November and an ending reading in December, so the first bill would have been January, the one that went out here for January. Most of the accounts in those affected areas are listed as inactive currently. Since those people are not able to live in their homes, what we've done is we've listed those accounts as inactive. We didn't close out the accounts. The account's still there. They were able to get home and get back in their homes. All we have to do is simply activate the account. Currently, all of those people that are not able to live in those homes, those accounts have been listed as inactive. And if you have any others that are currently receiving a water bill and cannot live in their homes, please have them let us know at the water department and we'll make those accounts inactive.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'll defer it. Withdrawn.
All right, item 9J. Oh, I'm sorry, 9H.
9H, an ordinance to amend the 5-year capital improvements plan, water line canal crossing, Point of LaHash project, and otherwise to provide with respect thereto. Councilmember Bartholomew.
Looks like there's a question by Dr. Gui.
need to offer and
You
second.
know.
Oh, I'll offer it on behalf of Bartholomew. And
Second.
seconded by Russo.
Thank you.
Oh, no more questions? Oh, okay. All right, are there any questions on this item? Any questions on this? All right, call a question. All right, looks like all in favor except for Arbor, he's temporarily absent. Moving down to item J, please.
Item 9J, a resolution granting conditional approval for a plan of subdivision. Oh, come, Mr. Fur-
9J. I'm sorry. Continue.
9J, a resolution granting conditional approval for a plan of subdivision of lots 6 and 7, Cedar Grove Plantation, Section 4, T15S, R24E, Southeastern District of Louisiana, west of the Mississippi River, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, into lots 6A, 6B, 15A, 7A, and 7B, Cedar Grove Plantation, Section 4, T15S, R24E, Southeastern District of Louisiana, west of the Mississippi River, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, by Dufresne Surveying and Engineering, Inc., dated August 21st, 2021, without cost to Plaquemines Parish government or the Parish of Plaquemines. Councilmember Rousseau.
So offered.
Second.
Offered by Roussel, seconded by Black. I'm going to take a break. Who should I, because I'm the vice chair, who should be taking over?
We don't have anybody to take over. They'd have to vote on someone to take over.
Got it. All right. Well, in my absence, I'm going to designate Dr. Gui.
The rules say that you have to vote on it.
Let's take a recess, a 2-minute recess.
Where's it going? Permanently or just temporary?
We will take a recess at 6.
Take your business.
Do we need to vote on that?
Yes. Call the question.
I'll just call it.
Okay. Councilmember LaFrance and Newberry, you're voting if you want Councilmember Gui to run the meeting. Thank you.
Mr. Russo,
Yes.
it's yours?
Yeah, just.
Did you get a second?
Yeah. On J? We just voted on J.
Yeah, it's already done.
Item 10?
Agenda item 10, approval of the minutes from the December 9th, 2021 regular meeting.
So offered.
Offered by Mr. Russo, I hear second.
Second.
Second by Mr. LaFrance. Any questions? Machine is open. And the motion is approved. 6, 2, and 1. Next.
Item 11A1, a resolution by the Plaquemines Parish Council as and on behalf of the West Bank Levy District authorizing and permitting Philway Construction LLC with respect to the transporting of materials, vehicles, and equipment across the Mississippi River levee by Philway and/or its agents at the existing WBP crossing located on the right descending Mississippi River levee near the second order levee station. 1705 plus 80 in Port Sulphur, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, near coordinates 29 degrees, 34 minutes, and 42.19 seconds north, and 89 degrees, 48 minutes, and 50.17 seconds west. Councilmember LaFrance.
So offered.
Is there a second? I'll second. Mr. LaFrance,
As read.
any questions from any council members?
One question.
Mr. Hogan.
Hogan,
Are y'all going to vote on the suspension first?
Yes.
Right here.
machine is open on expansion, on the Suspension.
He's back.
I like this. Chair by committee.
Council members Gooey, Arborough, and Black on the suspension.
But I want to be the chair.
Or you call the next one, buddy.
Got it, brother.
Councilmember Gooey, do you want to vote on this?
Doc, you want to vote?
Thank you.
All right, all present in favor.
My question is, we're going to read it again?
Yes.
A resolution by the Plaquemines Parish Council, as and on behalf of the West Bank Levy District, authorizing and permitting Philway Construction LLC with respect to the transporting of materials, vehicles, and equipment across the Mississippi River levee by Philway and/or its agents at the existing WBP crossing located on the right descending Mississippi River levee near the Second Order Levee Station, 1705 plus 80 in Port Sulphur, Plaquemines Parish, Louisiana, near coordinates 29 degrees, 34 minutes, and 42.19 seconds north, and 89 degrees, 48 minutes, and 50.17 seconds west. Councilmember LaFrance.
You offer, Mr. LaFrance?
Second.
Offered by LaFrance, seconded by Gooey.
My question is any part of this property involved in the dispute litigation on the River Batcher?
I'm not sure. I know it's not involved with Mr. Capel with the woodland plantation. It's not part of the property that he's,
About the Calhouns?
I'm not sure about that Calhoun's.
Is this going up on the levee near the sand pit that currently exists south of Woodland Plantation?
It's at the sand pit. Yeah, it's right at the sand pit. If you drive right by the trail, it goes right across there. It's a crossing that's been there for
Sure.
forever and been under use forever.
There's a strip of oak trees there that's owned by the Calhoun family out in Alabama. And
There's a triangular area that's owned by the Calhoun. This is on the downriver end near the Calhouns. Sir?
A home below the Calhoun property that's
correct.
litigated?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. Since it's a suspension, can you enlighten us what's the purpose of this resolution?
When we go to the Corps of Engineers and the CPRA and get permission to cross the levee, we also have to get permission from the levee district in order to cross the levee. So this strictly allows us to do whatever uses that we get approval of from the Corps and the CPRA. Y'all allow it also.
Is this is this about the sand pit? Is this the project? Is the project you're doing for the Corps? I'm just trying to figure out is it a project or is this a business issue?
No, what it's currently being used for is unloading for gravel for two of y'all levee projects.
Okay.
The
That's what I wanted to
Wood
know.
Park to Point Celeste and Point Celeste to Wood Park levee.
Got it. Thank you.
You need this permit to basically build us levees.
That's correct. This is being used right now to protect y'all,
I don't even know why we have any.
protect y'all parish.
Thank you.
Mr. LaFrance?
Yes. You have any idea when y'all gonna start pumping sand?
We have no intention of pumping sand right now. We're going to pump it as a need arises. Right now, there's no need or demand for sand, so it's just sitting there.
So the permit we gave you for the pump sand, when does that end?
I'd have to go look back in the records, but right now everything is current and able to be pumped whenever we need it, but it's not expired right now.
You still have a lot of sand in that?
No, they probably only got like maybe 40,000 cubic yards. Yeah. And what's in there is being used once again on the levee projects.
They use sand on the levee?
There's not to build a levee, but on the project on roads or lay down areas and stuff like that.
All right.
Yeah.
I yield.
All right, we'll call a question. It's all in favor. All right. For new business, Mr. Kognovich's will be deferred. The item C, the Empire Bridge repair, that's happened, so that'll be deferred as well. We're going to defer Commissioner Barthelme's, which is item D. And we're going to defer item I in this section. So item E, please.
Item E, District 7 update, Councilmember LaFrance. 1, discussion on the most severely, defer.
And, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to defer items F, H, and J for the purposes of going into the next reapportionment meeting.
All right.
Withdraw L.
Okay.
And defer G.
All right. With nothing else on the agenda, make a motion to, well, we already did the minutes?
We did the minutes.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Good, did you want
still
to say
have-
something about K?
Yes.
At 6 o'clock, we'll address the redistricting. At 6 o'clock, and we are in good shape. 12 minutes.
Move to adjourn.
All right.
Second.
Purcell makes a motion to adjourn, seconded by Newberry. Machine's open. All are in favor present. I'd like to call this meeting of the Plaquemines Parish Council to order at, to close at 5:48 PM.